Welcome to the 2021 Women of Achievement event, honoring and celebrating 7 extraordinary women. Dr. Dina Chisholm from Nationwide Children's Hospital. She's resolved to closing the gaps in children's health equity. Michelle Heritage from Community Shelter Board. She's committed to advocating for those who don't have a voice. From The Ohio State University Wexner Medical Center East Hospital, Mary Howard, driven by strengthening relationships and transforming communities. From the National Coalition of 100 Black Women, Linda Caney, dedicated to advocating for Black women and girls. Jennifer Peterson from Steiner and Associates. She's excited about creating connections that make a difference. From the Saunders PR group, Gail Saunders, passionate about celebrating, recognizing, and lifting up others and driving change to open doors for those who come next. Carla Williams Scott from the City of Columbus. She's proud of helping create pathways out of poverty. Congratulations to the YWCA Columbus's 36th class of Women of Achievement.
Woo! Spectacular. All right. Hello, Columbus, and welcome to the 2021 Women of Achievement celebration. Woo! I'm Angela Pace, a member of the 1994, back in the days of black and white TV, class of Women of Achievement. I am your host for this year's event. Why? I don't know why Christy Angel asked me to come back. She's known me a long time. She just keeps putting herself up for punishment. I am here live at the Fives with this year's honoree for a small celebration, comparatively speaking, and we are so excited to have all of you join us virtually from your home, from your work, from your car, from your patio, from your bar, wherever. We ain't telling, and we ain't judging. So today we are thrilled to honor 7 extraordinary women. Before we get started though, for you folks at home, at the bottom right of your screen, I'm pointing like I really have a screen here, you will see a chat button. I just found out what chat was about 15 minutes ago. Clicking on that button is going to bring up our chat box on your screen, and we want you to use this during the event. Make sure you use your chat. Go ahead, try it out right now. All of you here in the room, pretend that you're chatting too. Do that. Okay, stop. So, using your chat, you can say hello, you can congratulate today's honorees, you can share some love for YWCA Columbus, you can tell me that I haven't put on 15 pandemic pounds. I need the love, thank you. This year, we would also love it if you could give these incredible women a shout out on social media. So hop on Facebook or Instagram or PenPal or TikTok or whatever that stuff is, and post a picture of yourself and your crew celebrating our honorees. Now be sure to use the hashtag YWCACBus. I like that. YWCACBus and hashtag WOA 2021, WOA 2021. Now, since all of us can't be here together today, let's make sure that the 2021 class of Women of Achievement feel our love and our admiration and our appreciation in chat and on social, okay? Deal? Is that a deal? Got it? All right. Thank you for the thumbs up, sir. You're already my favorite person in the audience. Thank you very much. All right, so are we ready to get started? Please help me welcome YWCA Columbus Board Chair, Sandy Doyle Ahern. Sandy.
I'm so happy. Hello, 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 and welcome to the 36th annual Women of Achievement celebration. We have to do this again. Makes me so happy to be here with all of you. For the second year, we are joining you virtually as well, and we're happy to see all of you on the virtual feed, along with our small live gathering of honorees. So let's cheer them on. An indicator of small steps back to normalcy. We certainly look forward to when we can all celebrate in one room together. This year, however, we are absolutely thrilled to honor 7 of our newest members of this esteemed group of Women of Achievement, a special group of women who have shown a great history of living YWCA Columbus's mission of eliminating racism and empowering women, both in their professional and personal lives. This year, we're also recognizing 5 women on the rise, young women in our community who have impressed us with their dedication to creating positive change in Columbus. I cannot wait for you to meet them. These are 12 women change makers. By being here and supporting YWCA Columbus, you are too. This event has raised over $600,000, which enables us to amplify, yes, thank you. This enables us to amplify the voice and impact of YWCA Columbus as we work to ensure every day that every member of our community is empowered to live in dignity. Thank you to our 4 presenting sponsors, AEP Foundation, Big Lots, Honda of America Manufacturing, and L Brands Foundation. Your support is vital. And thank you also to our Academy sponsor, Cardinal Health. Throughout today's event, you will have opportunities to give. It's as easy as sending a text message. Y'all got those phones, you know, I know you're not supposed to have the ringer on, but the little text thing, you can do that. The impact of your text will be profound. The funds we raise today will enable your YWCA Columbus to act as a beacon for good in our community, just like the women we are honoring this afternoon. Enjoy the show.
We are honored to join you today to celebrate the 36th class of the YWCA Columbus's Women of Achievement. We're excited to celebrate this year's honorees who motivate and inspire us with their generosity and courage.
As proud sponsors of the Academy of Women of Achievement, we join you in honoring women who are making a difference for all of us here in Central Ohio, where empowering women and celebrating our collective diversity helps us move forward together.
Like the YWCA Columbus, we are committed to building a diverse and inclusive community that values the unique perspectives and contributions of all. And we applaud their work to act as a beacon for good in our community so that with each new generation, we're braver, wiser, kinder, and more resilient.
We appreciate all of you who joined us today to support the YWCA and this year's honorees. These remarkable women are bold leaders who uplift their communities, and we can't wait to hear from them. And now we are thrilled and honored to welcome the members of the Academy of Women of Achievement,
who always bring joy,
excitement, and distinction to this event.
And I want to know why Christy Angel gets to be on there all by herself. All the rest of us have to share the screen. You get all that. Okay, we'll talk later, okay? So let's hear some shout outs for our Academy members in that chat box thing and on social. And if you are a member of the Academy joining us today, please say hello and let us know that you are with us virtually. It is now my honor to introduce the superstar, your YWCA President and CEO, Christy Angel.
Hello, and welcome to Women of Achievement 2021 in its second annual virtual edition. Thanks for celebrating with us today, and thank you to our event sponsors, including the Champion Companies, who will generously match all donations made today. I also want to thank this year's class of changemakers, Dina, Michelle, Mary, Jennifer, Linda, Gail, and Carla. You set an example for all. We are so proud to honor you and learn from you today. What I've already learned from our Women of Achievement is this. Each of us has the power to reimagine the world we live in. We can use our gifts, our passions, and our positivity to lead the way and inspire others to join us. But this year's class will also point out bettering yourself and your community takes hard work. It takes going the extra mile, moving past setbacks, and never giving up until you reach your goal. It takes resilience to build the world we want to see. We've definitely had our resilience tested since those early months of 2020. The pandemic brought on so much upheaval and loss. And we all know how much strength and determination we've needed just to keep going. And that's just it. We have kept going. We've stayed resilient. We've supported people in need and cheered on essential workers. We've adopted new technology and adapted to new ways of interacting. Here at YWCA Columbus, we have adapted too. We took our events, like this one, online, collected face masks and supplies, and changed meal services. We connected parents and employers and adjusted school-age programs so parents could work while their children learned online. And we made sure that everyone at our Family Center and Women's Residency Program had support and services to weather this storm. But the test of our resilience weren't limited to the pandemic. The heartbreaking rise of violence against Black people and Asian American Pacific Islanders made it all too clear that racism remains an all too present threat, both in outright acts of hatred and in the injustices built into our systems. But again, we've called on our resilience and channeled outrage into action. We've taken to the streets, the voting booth, and the airwaves. Activists and allies have stepped up to demand justice that is long overdue. As you know, YWCA Columbus has always fought for social justice. Armed with our advocacy agenda, we've committed to doing our part to reform policing, dismantle racism in the criminal legal system, and insist on affordable housing, pay equity, and digital access as necessities for all people. We have also created our own diversity, equity, and inclusion services to help educate others as to how they can recognize and combat injustice. We've done a lot of good in this difficult time. Sometimes I think about what we've gone through. It seems incredible that we managed to get here today. But the reason I keep coming back is you. When we support and celebrate each other, we can handle just about anything. So let's keep doing the work. Let's keep looking out for one another. Let's stay resilient and strong. As our Women of Achievement remind us, we each have the power to reimagine the world we live in. So let's use that power to create a world of peace, justice, freedom, and dignity for all. Thank you for being part of this community and YWCA Columbus.
Resilience.
Resilience is not staying silent.
Resilience is bending but not breaking.
We can learn, we can grow, we can recover, we can overcome.
Congratulations, YWCA Women of Achievement winners.
All right. And thank you very much, Limited Brands, and thank you so much, Christy. Everything that the Y has done over the last year and some months has been absolutely incredible. If you've watched TV at all, read the paper at all, you know what a fantastic job Christy and the Y have done to try to keep our community stable and healthy and safe and protected during these incredibly stupid last several months. So again, Christy, we want to thank you and the YWCA Columbus for all that you do to eliminate racism and empower women here in Columbus. And thank you to L Brands for supporting this event and YWCA Columbus for like about 1.5 years now. And now, let's get down to the business as we take a closer look at what makes this year's class so amazing as they discuss their why.
It is such an honor to sit at a table full of inspirational women. So women like you have made it possible and paved the way for women like Erin and myself to have a seat at the table. And now, Gail, tell us a little bit about what inspires you.
When I think about my mom, my dad, and the fact that they had to instill in us the importance of always doing your best, but most importantly, always making sure that you're showing up in a way that does not embarrass your family, does not embarrass your church family, and that really opens the door for others to come along so that someone who looks like you don't give any excuse to anyone for them not to bring someone else along. And when I think about in 2018, being the first Black male or female person of color being named a Public Relations Practitioner of the Year, it saddens me a bit. Grateful that people believe in me in that way. But in 2018, and here we are in 2021, we should not be having first women, first Black, first Asian, American, first anything. We have arrived.
Gail, I agree. We're definitely beyond the time where we should be experiencing first of anything. Like Maria said, I'm very honored to be at this table with such women of achievement. I'm even more excited to be at this table with Mary. I met Mary about 18 years ago. Mary was my Sunday school teacher in junior high. And then she eventually became the director over our teenage usher board at our church. My question to you is, what gives you that aspiration to serve the community the way you do?
I think back to my mother, who planted those seeds very early. And just like any teenager or young child on Saturday mornings, what do you expect to do? Stay at home in your pajamas and watch some cartoons, maybe, right? But no, my mother would take us to the nursing home where she worked to visit the residents that didn't have family. So she really planted that seed and the notion of caring in me. And that has just played over and over and over in my life and has just carried me through.
So I know you started as a nursing assistant and made your way to executive director. How did you get there?
My first job was a nursing assistant at Children's Hospital. And I worked at Children's Hospital all through college and was a new nurse there. I grew up at Children's Hospital. And so I always know I wanted to be in a leadership role. So I sought out mentors, I sought out opportunities and took stretch assignments to participate on committees. Then that just kind of led the way into leadership roles, then ultimately presented itself for me to become the executive director, which I did not see coming at all. It's just such a great opportunity to serve, to bring that academic mission to the Near East Side, where we're really making a difference in the lives of the people we serve.
One thing that you mentioned as well that really caught my attention is you mentioned planting seeds and mentors and how important it is for us to have mentors in our lives, and then when we feel like we've arrived, to also give that back. And Gail, how has mentoring been for you?
I'm a firm believer in if you can't see it, you can't be it. But sometimes you don't even recognize that people are watching you and you're laying a foundation or planting seeds just by the way you show up.
It's so interesting that you said you never know who's watching. You may or may not know this, but In college, I interned for an agency that partnered with the company you worked for. And so for several years, I was a part of a traveling team that traveled with you, and I sat at many conference tables with you.
Girl, you can make me cry.
And so you never know who's watching, because here I am as a young woman seated at the table with you, and I've watched you for the past 9 years.
Well, I'm so impressed with both Erin and Maria for you paving the way for people in our community, and particularly for people of color. So Erin, would you share with us a little bit about what you're doing?
In Columbus, 71.3% of Black girls said they desire leadership opportunities. Our programs offer leadership development, and then we also offer programs to make them leaders and give them the leadership opportunities they desire. Our girls deserve to be heard and to be seen, and that's exactly what we do. So I'm very proud of the work that we do.
So I'm a first-generation American in this country, and we had to deal with a lot of the same, discrimination, not knowing the language, overcoming cultural barriers, which even to this day, as generations continue to live here, that's where my passion lies, in making sure that these families have the tools to succeed. It is kind of interesting to match your passion and your purpose, because when you do, that's when you succeed. And I feel like all of us around this table is what we do. We serve with passion, we serve with purpose, and we would do it even if probably we weren't getting a paycheck for it, right?
So true, so true.
Right.
I never realized in the 8th grade when I said I wanted to be a writer and a journalist that the work that I do in that space would lead me to passion, heart work, such as the Infant Mortality Initiative that I am so honored to be able to work with and support by supporting them via communications in campaigns. But when you talk about messaging and trust in the community, I know that that's something that you drive every day with where you are right in the center of the community.
There was a time when the community lost faith and lost trust in the hospital. And once we did become part of OSU, we worked really, really hard to regain that trust. And I want to make sure that it's a hospital that that community is proud of, that they know they're going to get excellent care when they come there.
This has been great sitting at the table with you all.
Yes,
Thank
just
you.
so impressed with everyone. That builds resilience. And so you are leaving your footprint as we speak.
We go back to church so often because we were reared in that was foundational. But it reminds me of a song, Mahalia Jackson. Now, you know I can't sing, so I'm just gonna say the words. But it goes like this: if I can help somebody as I pass along, if I could help somebody with a word or a song, if I could help somebody as I pass along, then my living will not be in vain. I'll leave that with you.
And I don't know why you said you can't sing.
You didn't know we were going to have musical entertainment here, huh? I just love those videos. What an amazing group of women. I could just wish I was a fly on the wall in those conversations. And so with that, let us add some new members to the YWCA Columbus Women of Achievement Academy. Please help me welcome Mary Howard, who is being inducted by 2020 Women of Achievement honoree, Barbara Smoot.
Thank you so much. Mark Twain said, the two most important days of our life is the day you're born and the day you find out why. I discovered my why on those Saturday mornings visiting the nursing home with my mother. It made such a difference for the residents, especially for those that did not have family. By middle school, I knew I wanted to be a nurse. Even though I would consider other careers, doctor, lawyer, engineer, actress. I always came back to nursing because my passion is caring for others. My journey has come full circle. In high school, my first nursing labs were at the former St. Anthony Hospital, which today is OSU East. Now, as the executive director, I'm especially proud to provide health care in an underserved community in the neighborhood not too far from where I grew up. Addressing healthcare disparities and ensuring equity in healthcare is personally important to me. Work, community, volunteering gives my life meaning, and it feeds my soul. My volunteer work spans from coaching track to working with immigrants. In 20 years as a volunteer track coach, I saw young people gain confidence, learn the value of hard work, and sometimes use their gifts to earn college scholarships. Since 1997, I've served on the board of the Community Immigration Services, Refugee Immigration Services, to help our newest residents feel welcome, get resettled, and contribute to the community. While these are very different activities, the purpose is the same. Help others become their best selves. This past year, we've learned how fragile life can be and how much we rely on friends as well as strangers to lift us up. We all have unique and special gifts that can help others. Your why is full of potential to make the world a better place, and I highly recommend the journey.
Mary Howard, welcome to the Academy. You are the perfect vision of Maya Angelou's Phenomenal Woman. Congrats.
Thank you.
Congrats.
Welcome to the Academy, Mary. And point of personal privilege here, Mary and I go way back. We went to Capital University together way back in the day, and I used to watch her walk across the campus, determined on her way to the School of Nursing while I don't know where I was going. But I'm so proud of you, Mary, everything that you've done since Capital and beyond. So congratulations to you. Our next 2021 honoree is Gail Saunders, who will be inducted by Lisa Ingram. Please welcome Gail to the stage.
My parents and my siblings instilled in me the drive for excellence, a strong faith, the courage to believe, and most importantly, to stand up even when it's hard. Growing up in the 60s in small town Kentucky community, being one of a few black families, you had to learn to be resilient or risk folding under the evilness of racism. Well, for me and my family, folding was never an option. Standing up when you're one of, or the only one, it takes courage. When I was a communications leader for a major company during the O.J. Simpson trial, someone left a photo of O.J. hanging in the mailroom with the N-word blazoned across it. No one removed it until they called me. Now trust me, I did more than remove the thing. I went directly to the company's chairman, insisting that we take a stand on diversity and inclusion and address these issues. He did, and it was the beginning of change for the better. In another Fortune 100 company, after receiving a list of candidates with no diversity, I refused to move forward. I challenged HR to tap into the rich, diverse talent base that I knew was out there. Taking this action made change, not only for my immediate needs, but for future hiring as well. Now, these are just two of many examples over the course of my journey, and each one drives me to do more. I believe we all have the ability to be change agents for the greater good, to stand up for justice whenever we have the opportunity. For me, it is a must. I am so humbled and honored to stand with my fellow boss lady honorees, and I have to give a huge shout out to my parents who are no longer with us, to my siblings, my husband and my son who are with us today, for supporting me on this journey. Now, no matter where you are on your journey, I challenge you to be change agents for the greater good. Thank you.
I am so excited to welcome you into the Academy. You are a wonderful example of standing up for those in need, and you give us all such inspiration. Great job. Congratulations. Thank you so much. You did fabulous.
Congratulations, Gail. Okay, another little personal tidbit here. Gail and I go way back. Not as far back as Mary, but Gail was one of the first black female news photographers here in Columbus when I met her about 1,000 years ago. She was shooting for, you were shooting for 6? Well, what am I saying? I'm not supposed to say another TV station. Well, that other station is who she was shooting for. And all of us used to hang out together. So thanks a lot, Gail, for everything that you have done since then. Now, before we move on to our next Woman of Achievement, a quick message from our presenting sponsor, Honda.
Associates here in Ohio. Honda is pleased to be a part of the 36th annual YWCA Women of Achievement. I've served on the YWCA board for 4 years, and I'm proud to be a member of an organization like this. An organization that's committed and willing to address the inequity in society that we're all facing today. At Honda, we understand the value of a diverse and equitable society for our associates, customers, and communities that we serve. Simply put, an equitable society will accept different opinions, reduce fears towards differences, and improve cultural competency in the community. So, to create mobility solutions for today and tomorrow, we need a strong, diverse community that will empower our associates to pursue their dreams. That's why I'm proud to stand with so many strong, talented female leaders here within Honda. We are women who've achieved more than we could have ever imagined, simply because we would not take no for an answer, and we're empowered to tap into our own resilience. I'm excited to be a part of the great work that's being done by the YWCA, and I can't wait to see what we continue to accomplish together. Thank you.
And thank you so much, Honda, for your support. Honda is another one of those companies that has been with this event for years and years and years. We certainly do appreciate their support. So I just heard from our little friend around the corner there that we have about 600 virtual viewers out there. 600 virtual viewers. I don't even want to know what they're doing while they're watching this. I'm just glad that they are with us. And hopefully some of my Women of Achievement buddies are out there. Lori Marsh, are you out there somewhere? Kathy Ranciere, we saw you dancing all silly up here on the stage. Kathy, you need to be watching. Val McDaniel, hope all of you are tuning in, especially those three, because they are retired. They ain't got nothing else to do. Nothing else to do, no place else to go. So they ought to be watching. All right, let's gather around the table as more of our honorees reflect on results.
So grateful and honored to be able to share this space. We all are so passionate at what we do, and it's just an honor to be here with you guys.
Carla, you had mentioned that your parents taught you that education and kindness was really important. Through your work with the city, you've been able to show that throughout the community.
Sometimes people feel like their voices aren't heard. And through some of the work that we do, through working with our community organizations and having people be involved and have that voice to make a change in their community, that's how we get results.
What we really strive at the Reeb Avenue Center is to be a hand up and not a handout. And being partners with the City of Columbus and your team, Carla, has just been wonderful to bring our community together.
And I know, Jennifer, some of the things you guys do at the foundation, that's amazing that Easton gives back to the community.
From the very beginning, giving back to the community has been a huge tenet of our mission, and our Change for Charity program is probably the best known because the money for the foundation comes through our parking meters.
That's wonderful.
People think that people living in poverty have gotten there because of something that they did on their own, and that's not always the case. As you start to work with people, you really start to realize that not everybody has good choices to make. They have the choices that are in front of them, and they have to do the best they can. If you have to decide whether you're going to pay your rent or feed your child, you're going to feed your child. Growing up, my parents always stressed education. Education will help you get to your next steps. When we were all growing up and going through school and, you think, wow, everybody has this opportunity. But it wasn't until I, became an adult that I realized everybody didn't have that opportunity.
I feel the same and, so grateful for my mom and dad and my grandmother who made me who I am today and gave me that great example of working hard but also giving back. And my journey to this role is such a combination of everything I've done in my life. Frankly, there's just a serendipity to things where you realize this is where I'm supposed to be.
Everything that I'm doing now, I did at some point in my life, so it all ties back in. Like every job I had prepared me for where I am.
Jennifer, how do you pick the organizations that you support?
We look at hundreds of applications every year for the Change for Charity program, and it's really hard to, suss out the 6 that are going to be featured on the meters throughout the year. This year specifically, we really focused on basic needs because of COVID, and then racial justice.
At our organization, we've been seeing so much change in that aspect as well. I'm just grateful and honored that, I have a couple of leadership roles with the Black Employee Resource Council, with the Huntington Bank Think Tank Committee, and also Seeds of Caring. And when I look at all those organizations together, they are out there in the community. They're active. They're out there trying to support and make sure that they're filling the needs of others and not their own.
Everything that we do ties into making our communities a better place. I know some of the work that we do at the city and the Department of Neighborhoods through our planning, we're doing revitalization plans in the Linden neighborhood and in the Hilltop neighborhood. One of the things we're doing is working with some of our community partners, Habitat for Humanity and the Healthy Homes, Healthy Families with Nationwide Children's Hospital to make sure that we have affordable housing in all of our neighborhoods. And so we try to focus on how can we make sure that people can stay in the communities that they love and that they, in some cases where they've been for lifelong residents.
We are very cognizant at Easton of the neighborhood we sit in, the Northeast area, that we want to always be good stewards of those neighborhoods. And one of the programs that we did with the American Red Cross, they were actually a Change for Charity partner, but they had a very specific program that they wanted to do in Linden and the Northeast area around house fires and putting in smoke alarms. They installed over 10,000 smoke alarms in those 2 neighborhoods.
What I've been talking with my team about at the Reeb Avenue Center is how do we meet people truly where they're at?
Just being able to show empathy and, see the humanity in others. I think that's so important.
Government can't do it all alone. And so we look to organizations like Encova from the private sector and our friends at the Easton Foundation, and certainly our partnership with the Reeb Avenue Center to make sure that we're all able to work together to serve our communities.
To have over $8.5 million in direct funding back into the community is pretty unique.
That's great.
Seeing the impact and knowing that it makes a difference really does touch your heart and makes going to work feel like a joy and a pleasure versus a job.
You know, when you have that one person that you realize that genuinely cares about your well-being, it can be a game changer.
I love to see how, you know, you help someone and they love it and they need it and they appreciate it.
Sounds like you came into your power. And
Yes, I'm
you're
here.
feeling it. I know. I'm so grateful to be here
Yes.
and to be with all of you. I mean, being the first female chief executive at Easton, you know, was a little daunting. And I think, you know, we all need to come into our power
absolutely.
and own it, because we bring special things to the table and nuances that's maybe a little bit different than the male perspective.
Absolutely.
So,
Absolutely.
And actually, to this day, I have something on my on my board at work that says "You belong here." So I look at that every single day because I do belong.
It's that, you know, one thing to be a woman and have success, but it's one thing to be a woman, have success, and be able to share that with other women.
to see these huge hearts here at this table and amazing women that are out in our community doing incredible things is just awe-inspiring.
I've always been told if you get a seat at the table, but you don't bring up a chair for somebody else, then, you know, maybe you shouldn't be at the table.
You're where you are today because of how you give back.
Just know that God doesn't make any mistakes. And so we are where we are for a reason. And when we use our voice to give back, it can be very impactful and really help others in our community.
Amen.
Amen.
A little bit of church in here today. Seriously, these women are making such a tremendous impact in our community. Please welcome Carla Williams Scott, who is being inducted by 2020 honoree Sandy Anderson.
Imagine how hard it would be to work 2 jobs and barely be able to pay your rent and take care of your children. And your nearest grocery store is 6 or 7 miles away, and you have no reliable transportation. Unfortunately, this is the reality for many of our neighbors today. But there's more to this story. Many of our residents take pride where they live. They want to make their communities a better place. I'm rooting for these people. I'm cheering for them every day as our city's first director of neighborhoods. I am their voice. When you look at some of our neighborhoods, you see the devastating impact of redlining, where banks didn't give loans because too many Black people live there. Today, those same areas show the greatest disparities in income, health, and education. And what redlining didn't destroy, freeways did, by cutting right through our neighborhoods. So Black families that had difficulty buying property and owning it, and even if they were able, they couldn't get insurance or loans for repairs. We are still dealing with the aftermath of systemic racial practices today, but I'm honored to be their voice, advocating for public-private partnerships that can bring a grocery store where there's a food desert. I'm a strong partner for boys and young men of color through our My Brother's Keeper initiative. I can be our neighbor's voice on our library board, ensuring equity and resources and programs to make learning easier. After all, they have a right to be heard. You can use your voice for change. Be kind, inspire others, give hope. Strive to make our city a little better than you found it. That's something we can all aspire to.
Carla Williams Scott, thank you for making a difference in our community, and you're going to keep on doing that, we know. Welcome to the Academy.
All right, you already know what I'm going to say. Carla and I go way back. Actually, Carla and I have sat in Stephanie Hightower's kitchen many times solving the world's problems over an adult beverage or two. And Carla has done incredible work with the Neighborhoods Department, especially over the last year and some months. And I'm very proud to say that she sits on the 10TV Community Advisory Board to keep us honest and make sure that we're covering our communities the way they need to be covered. So thank you for your service, Carla. And now let's welcome Jennifer Peterson, our next 2021 Woman of Achievement, who's being medaled by Allison Barrett.
Being a creative person has served me well. I used my creativity over the past year to step headfirst into a global pandemic, the racial justice movement, and the uncertainty of this very difficult time. You can too. Please don't confuse creativity with being artistic. I am not an artist. Creativity means looking at what seems to be impossible and thinking, let's try this. Maybe this could work. An empathetic heart and diversity of voices in the room helps too. During the pandemic, we at Easton looked at our restaurants, our staff, our fleet, the Easton Trolley, and thought, you know, we can do this. Nearly 4,000 meals later, we had served critical hospital frontliners, and first responders too. As we began the reopening process, safety was priority number one. But so was uplifting our guests. Our idea? The Sunset Drive-In, a safe, fun way to get out of the house. And then we pivoted, hosting nonprofit events there, raising critical funds when most events had to be canceled. With the racial justice movement, a Unity Pavilion emerged with stunning murals and quotes from strong Black voices. And then came the installation of Wally Neal's African Moon Daughter, celebrating African American strength and culture. More recently, we showcased the GCAC Art Unite Sea bus boards, so our 30 million visitors could see the outpouring of support. This year was a challenge like no other. We used our creative inspiration to find innovative answers. You too can tackle any issues creatively if you look at them from a different perspective. Use the diversity of your group and empathy to do the right thing. You'll be amazed at your ability to take on the impossible.
Jen, I am delighted and honored to be standing here with you today. Thank you for using your creativity and your empathy to serve our community. Welcome to the Academy. Hugga, hugga.
I love Jennifer. Everything that she has done to make Easton a responsible community steward. We at 10TV, some of our community initiatives, we've been able to take advantage of that and will continue to do so. And she's ignoring me as I try to make her commit to our toy drive this year, but okay. But thank you, Jennifer, you really have made a difference. Now, let's take a minute to hear from another sponsor, AEP Foundation.
Empowerment and racial equality, resiliency and innovation. These qualities make our community a better place to live and work. They represent the values that drive our mission to create brighter futures and the values we share with YWCA Columbus. Congratulations to this year's Women of Achievement honorees. Because of the work you do, Columbus is more equitable, more diverse, more culturally vibrant. You're lighting the way forward. Proof that the power to create brighter futures is boundless.
Oh, That was shorter than I thought it was. And Janelle, would you remind me to give you my check for my light bill before you leave? Thank you. Thank you very much to the AEP Foundation. All right, let's go back to the table to talk about the future and meet our final honorees.
Event is about extraordinary women in all kinds of roles. And the work the three of you do and continue to do is seeding continued change in our community. So now I'd like to talk about the future and what you hope your work will grow into.
I think the most important thing that Community Shelter Board can do is put Community Shelter Board out of business. And that's really what drives me every single day, to think about getting at the root causes of homelessness. And when we get at the root causes of homelessness, we solve for so many other things. We solve for infant mortality, we solve for racism, we solve for poverty. And I know, Linda, you've worked on these kinds of things as well.
I have a history with the YWCA, I'm proud to say. I've worked 24 years with the Columbus YW. And during that time, I was instrumental in starting our whole racial justice department. And also with the work that I'm doing currently as president of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women, where we advocate unapologetically for Black women and girls.
So the work that I'm doing at Nationwide Children's Hospital, which includes establishing a Center for Child Health Equity and Outcomes Research, is really designed to figure out how do we, as a healthcare system and then broadly as a community, do a better job of building healthy children who are set to have healthy futures, to really think about health not just as doctor's appointments or vaccinations, but really as the foundation of well-being.
We're all actually working on the same thing. We're just coming at it in different ways. And each of us is taking our little part to put this puzzle together.
We have to stop thinking in silos and start thinking about a future where all of our systems work together, are synergized towards maximizing the outcomes for every section, not just the one we work in.
Right.
Knowing that all of us in all of our different ways and all of our different buckets that we're working in all have that common goal, that helps me see such a bright future for our community.
That's the kind of thing that for the future I think about. We have the power to make these changes.
There's a lot of onlys you might bring to a room. Or maybe I'm the only person with a lived experience of homelessness or housing instability. And those experiences provide the stories. And underneath the stories, you have the data. You know, the data is the piece that provides the foundation to say, this is the truth, and here's the proof that it's the truth.
I'm a strong, firm believer that the data and the analysis is what's going to have us be able to make big breakthroughs. In the work that I do in terms of the homeless, I think it's going to be technology solutions. What could happen if technology was fully available to people at all income levels? That there was an algorithm, literally, that could say, you know what? I'm concerned because we're seeing these three things, so I'm gonna ask you, are you worried about your housing? And I'm asking you way up here, before you ever worry that you can't pay your rent, before you ever get evicted, and sure as heck before you ever call the homeless hotline. And that, to me, is the future. We have got to get upstream.
We could all put ourselves out of business if we did that, if we had a longer range approach as to why these things are occurring.
Because that's how we approach things at the Women's Fund. We are always focused on social change, and we do that through research and data. You know, I think what we've realized this last year is women do so much unpaid labor. We have seen what happens to our economy when women aren't supported and when their families aren't supported, and things like paid leave, like access to childcare and making it high quality and affordable. These are all things that help lessen that stress that, you know, allow for people to have the space to live and to be healthy and to grow their families.
I joke about, as I go on in my career in the work I do, I'm getting less and less patient.
Right.
You know?
Yes.
And I think others are as well. And that impatience, we need to harvest and harness that. because that's going to get us where we need to be.
That's why I'm so excited for our future, because I think young people get that.
When I see this same group of young people out in the streets, day after day after day, they are not giving up, whether it's, dealing with racism or police injustice or the environment. They are in it for the long haul, and that is really encouraging to see. And I think that the YWCA is really at the forefront of that.
We don't need to apologize
exactly.
for caring about racism. We don't need to apologize for caring about women and children, because we know that those are the things that are keeping us from being everything we could be.
Right.
We have come through a lot in the past year. We've come through a lot in the past 400 years.
Exactly.
And it's worth saying that we can come through and we can go forward.
Resiliency to some means that we are so strong that we don't need each other. We can do it alone, and that does not work at all. Whether it's eliminating racism or empowering women, we have to work together to continue to build that resiliency in ourselves and the next generation.
It's truly the only way.
It is.
We only will do it together.
And I think, being here today and thinking about the YWCA and that being what has brought us all to this table, and thinking about eliminating racism and empowering women. I mean, if we can just do those two things.
those little
two things. The future is bright.
Right.
The future is exactly what we need it to be, and that's the exciting part.
That's right.
Yeah, and we know that women are at the heart and soul of making things happen. And we're the ones that are, that are the primary caregivers, we're the nurturers, we make sure we get things done.
Yes.
And so we really have to invest in the future of women and girls, for that matter. We are bold, we are unapologetic, and we are resilient. And it takes all of us in the community to get the work done.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's it exactly.
I don't know about you, but I got goosebumps just then. I'm ready to go out and do something. Not sure what, just let me know. I'm ready. The future is very, very bright, thanks largely to the women that we are honoring today. Let's welcome our next 2021 Woman of Achievement, Dr. Dina Chisholm. She's being medaled by 2020 Woman of Achievement, Dr. Anahi Ortiz.
Growing up in Springfield, Ohio, my career goals were influenced by what I liked and what I saw people who looked like me doing. In a small town, there wasn't a whole lot to see. But when I discovered epidemiology while searching for a graduate program, it checked all the boxes of what intrigued me, and it provided me a platform to make a real difference. I use math and statistics to study health at a population level. In other words, I provide the data, the facts behind the stories that demonstrate how health literacy, social factors, poverty, and racism impact access to high-quality health care and to healthy outcomes. Healthy outcomes like infant vitality and kindergarten readiness and healthy minds. The data I gather influences decisions for those who are least likely to have a voice. In my field, my voice is often and only the only woman's voice, the only voice of a person of color, the only voice of a person who grew up with a lived experience of severe health and financial challenges, just like many of the children in our community. As an educator and a researcher, I strive to bring more voices to the table through community engagement and training a diverse next generation for the field. When a child doesn't live to see his or her first birthday, or a teen doesn't graduate from high school because of behavioral health issues, we miss the contributions they could make to improve our world. We miss future doctors and teachers and civic leaders and even epidemiologists. If we want to maximize society, we need to maximize everyone. And we can't do that unless everyone is healthy. Every day is a pivotal moment for me because I inform decisions that will impact the future. Each day is a pivotal moment for you too. Use your time, talent, and treasure to raise your voices, to support equity and health, and to help our children reach the potential our society deserves.
Dina, I want to thank you so much for showing us why we need more women of color in STEM. And I am honored to welcome you into the Academy. Thank you.
Okay, so I don't know what epidemiology is. I'll have to Google it. But I'm glad that Dr. Chisholm discovered it at an early age. And thank you so much for everything that you're doing to provide improved health care for all our underserved communities, especially our babies. Congratulations, Dina. You are definitely a welcome addition to the Academy. And please help me to welcome our next 2021 honoree, Michelle Heritage, to the stage. Michelle is being inducted by 2020 honoree, Francie Henry.
Sheila is my inspiration. Sheila is a fierce advocate, a tireless volunteer, and someone who's experienced homelessness herself. During the pandemic, Sheila got up every morning, put on her mask, and went to work at the warming centers for the homeless in our community. This is Sheila. She isn't rich. She has no car. In fact, she spends hours on the bus so she can go help people. Sheila has some health challenges too. I will never forget the day. It was literally 100 degrees outside with stifling humidity. And there she was, dragging an oxygen tank behind her. I'm lucky to know Sheila. She inspires me to keep going when the going gets really tough, when I just don't know if what I'm doing is making an impact. Sheila reminds me that every human being matters, that every human being deserves patience, kindness, and a helping hand. And she reminds me, like so many others, that my work is making a difference. James Baldwin said, "Not everything faced can be changed, but nothing can be changed until it's faced." We must face the problem of homelessness in our community if we want to change it. How do we face it? We get involved. We take action. In our community of more than 1 million people, if just 1% of us took action, we would be the first in the country to end homelessness as we know it. What you have to offer is important, and the rewards are many. Hundreds could benefit from your work, whether it's serving dinners, donating diapers, tutoring kids who end up in our shelters, or raising your voice for affordable housing. So today, I'm asking you, find your Sheila, find your inspiration, and face the challenge of homelessness in our community. We need you. You are the movement. You are the change. Let's stop homelessness and give people a place like all of us have, a place called home.
Thank you.
Michelle, it's an honor and a privilege to be with you today. Keep using your voice, harnessing your impatience. Count me and all of us in that 1%. Welcome to the Academy. We've been waiting for you, my friend.
Thank you. Congratulations, Michelle. And again, one of these people I've known for a long time, and I have admired for years everything that you're doing to take care of our homeless population. And I still hope that you forgive me for spilling red wine on that white jacket at that party. True story. And anybody who can quote James Baldwin is all right in my book. Yeah. It is time now to meet our final 2021 Woman of Achievement, Linda Caney, who's being inducted by 2015 honoree and your YWCA Columbus President and CEO and all-round rock star, Christy Angel.
My work for the elimination of racism and the empowerment of women really flourished when I went to work for YWCA Parkersburg. I continued working with YWCA in Columbus and in the state and the national levels. So today is especially meaningful to me. My calling for public service began in West Virginia, where I was raised as an only child and one of a few people of color. At YWCA Parkersburg, I met colleagues who would become mentors, and I learned about leadership, about organizing, and advocacy. In a city that was just 1% Black, I led discussions on racial justice and women's empowerment. When I joined YWCA Columbus, my intention was to stay for 3 years. That turned into 32 years. If you want to hear God laugh, make a plan. My commitment to equity for women and people of color continues today. I'm proud to be the chartering and current president of the National Coalition of 100 Black Women, Central Ohio. We provide a voice for Black women and girls because it's advocacy that results in women enrolling in college, gaining their financial freedom, becoming first-time home buyers, and taking charge of their health. As you look at all of us today, you may think we lead charmed lives. We do not. My journey includes surviving breast cancer, losing a son unexpectedly, and coping with a mother-in-law with Alzheimer's. What we have in common is working for a greater good. And my greater good is to unapologetically advocate for Black women and girls. We still face hurdles for equality and equity, but we are resilient. I'm at the right place at the right time, and this is the right time to join me to eliminate racism and empower women.
Linda, it is an honor and a privilege to welcome you into the Academy of Women of Achievement. You are YWCA royalty. Thank you.
Linda is one of these people I have admired from afar. I want to be her when I grow up so bad, because everything that she has done to empower women of color over the last years and years and years, she does it with style and she does it with grace. And I'm a huge fan, Linda. Just want to let you know that. She is last on our program, but certainly not the least. We do congratulate her. And as my fake mother-in-law, Kathy Kobacker, says, we've been waiting for you, Linda, so we're glad that you're here. Before we move on, let's take a minute now to hear from our final sponsor, the folks at Big Lots.
Hello, everyone. I'm Erica Fortune. At Big Lots, we are committed to building communities where all people can live big. We are proud to stand with YWCA Columbus as they break down barriers facing women and people of color and work towards a more equitable society. As a working mom, wife, and business leader, I really do know how challenging it can be to play all of these roles at once. I also know how rewarding it can be. For me, there is nothing more rewarding than being a strong female role model for my 2 boys, my team, and other women in the community. But I also recognize the advantage of my situation and the responsibility that I have, that we all have, to lift up those around us in creating equity. Being a woman with many roles It takes resilience. And this year's Women of Achievement honorees, they embody that more than anyone. Each of their stories is unique, and each one shines a light, leading other women towards a better, brighter future. A big congratulations to the 2021 Women of Achievement. Thank you. Thank you for being the big difference for a better life for our community.
And thank you very much, Big Lots, for your sponsorship and your support. Please welcome YWCA Columbus President and CEO, Christy Angel, you remember her, back to the stage, joined by YWCA Board of Trustees Chair-elect, Janelle Coleman.
Hi, Janelle. Hi, Christy.
Wow, I am so grateful to be part of the same community as these 12 extraordinary women. Today, I am here wearing 2 hats as chair-elect for the YWCA Columbus Governing Board and the president of the American Electric Power Foundation. Diversity, equity, and inclusion continue to be critical components of our company culture. But this past year has proven that we still have work to do, both at AEP and in our communities. So today, I am proud to announce that the AEP Foundation has awarded a $1 million We've awarded a $1 million multi-year grant to the YWCA Columbus. This gift is part of the foundation's Delivering on the Dream, social and racial justice grants program to fund organizations with programs dedicated to advancing social and racial justice. Congratulations, Christy.
Thank you, Janelle. YWCA Columbus is so humbled by the investment of the AEP Foundation to confront uncomfortable truths, work to dismantle systemic oppression, and empower the next generation of leaders. This transformational investment will assist us as we continue our mission to eliminate racism, empower women, stand up for social justice, help families, and strengthen our community. Thank you, AEP Foundation, and of course, thank you, Janelle, for your continued leadership, guidance, and commitment to our mission and the journey. And now we have a few more things to celebrate. I think maybe 4 or 5 more things to celebrate. Please welcome our amazing board chair. Isn't it amazing I get to work with these 2 women? Sandy Doyle Ahern to the stage to help us introduce this year's Women on the Rise. Sandy?
It's not nice they do this and make me cry. So yes, more celebrating. I am truly excited to welcome our 2021 Women on the Rise honorees to stage. Please join us. Maria Elizabeth Cortez, Erin Hathaway, Tawana Mims, Tanya Salyers, and Allie Zahler. Ladies, congratulations, and thank you for the work that you are doing towards eliminating racism and empowering women in our community.
Congratulations.
Yes, and welcome. Welcome to your YWCA family. We're a big family, and you can't get rid of us. You heard what Linda said. And also to you in our audience and to our listening audience today, remember the champion companies will be matching funds raised today. I wouldn't be doing my job if I didn't raise money for this organization. Consider donating $36 or $136 or $100,036 for 36 years so that we can continue to provide resources, services, and programs that shape the future of this community. $36 today will greatly impact the work
that YWCA Columbus is able to do tomorrow. Thank you, Columbus, for all of your support, all of your love, and helping us to fulfill our mission.
Thank you very much, Lee. Do you remember being that young? I mean, and they're so cute, and they're brilliant, and I hate them right now. I'm so jelly. Is that what y'all say? I'm jelly, is that right? Don't look, they're looking at me like, why didn't that old lady just go somewhere and sit down and knit a sweater, right? All right, we want to use that chat box one more time to congratulate our honorees, Mary and Gail and Carla and Jennifer and Dina and Michelle and Linda. Of course, welcome to the sisterhood, ladies. We're so glad to have you. So all y'all out there in virtual world, chat them up, chat them up. And remember, if you want to support YWCA Columbus's vital programs and services here in Central Ohio, you can easily do it by texting the number on your screen. I would have to have a 12-year-old do that for me. And make sure that you complete the post-event survey that's sponsored by our friends at Voorhees, Seder, Seymour, and Pease. There is a link on your screen, so you can go ahead and click on that, those of you at home, and tell YWCA Columbus how much you enjoyed the show. So thank you very much, YWCA Columbus, and thank you to all of our guests here today and out there in virtual land, those watching from home, for celebrating the 2021 Class of Women of Achievement. We celebrate you all. And now I'm supposed to stand here and look cute for a few minutes while they cut the live stream. All right, so what an incredible show and what a great way to honor these amazing women. So at this time, we're going to take a very quick 5-minute break, not 6, not 7, but 5-minute break, and then come back together to continue the celebration. Huh? Oh, but before we do that, could we have all of our honorees, our 2021 class, come up here for pictures?